Hey guys, I hope everybody is doing well. I wanted to make this video to do like a story time. It's been a long time since I actually sat in front of the camera and conversed with, with you all. And just to let you all know what's been going on and everything. So, particularly, I came here to tell you about my experience at a Mac store in the Caribbean. It was interesting. Basically, if any of you plan on or have traveled to the Caribbean, or if you've traveled and experienced this, then maybe you know what I'm speaking of, or maybe just to give you guys who are planning on traveling a little heads up, because the experience wasn't good at the moment, but it turned out to be okay. So what ended up happening, what had happened was, I was on a Caribbean cruise, April of this year, 2016. We traveled, so we were on the Allure, the Caribbean cruise, the Allure, and we went to 4 ports, which were all awesome. St. Martin, St. Thomas, oh my goodness, St. Martin, St. Thomas. No, it was only 3. This was a short cruise. St. Martin, St. Thomas. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find out. I'm gonna put it right here. But anyway, we were in a cruise. We were in the Caribbean cruising. Let me just say, the Caribbean is such a beautiful place. If I can retire there or travel there more often, it would be so great. I'm going to do somebody's makeup in the Caribbean. That would be pretty awesome. Nonetheless, we get to St. Martin, beautiful island, where the cruise, where the dock is, the port is. You have to take like a taxi or a water taxi over to like the beach area, or is it called St. Phillipsburg something? Pardon me if I'm chopping up these words because I just don't remember what they are. So anyway, we got over there, walked down the boardwalk a few times, came back up, and I saw an Inglot store. I was like, yes. Matter of fact, let me show y'all something real quick. Look at that. I bought this from Inglot. It's like an iridescent situation. And it smells pretty cool too. I don't know if that's really showing up on camera. It's probably not. I don't know. There it is. A little goldy in there. It's really pretty. Anyway, I bought this and something else. But then I spotted a Mac store, honey. I can spot a Mac store a mile away. So I was like, yes. Knowing I didn't need anything. So I went into the Mac store, and right in front was a display. I think it was their Cinderella collection. I can't remember what collection it was, but they were like limited edition products. And I went over and I looked. I was like, oh, okay. They were actually eyeglasses. And I don't really put eyeglasses on, and none of my clients really like eyeglasses, but I looked at it and I'm like, oh, okay. I tested it out and everything. So I'm like, oh, this is pretty. I can do something creative with it, or whatever the case is. So the associate came over and asked me, is everything okay? Did I want to see anything? And I said, yeah. I said, I want to know if you all have this, the eye gloss in stock. Now, before I get to that, I walked out the store with what I did not want. Let me show y'all. I walked out the store with this pearl varnish. Yeah. I walked out the store with pearl varnish, as you can see, untouched. What happened was the pearl varnish and the topaz, there were 2 of them, this one and a topaz color. The topaz color had a sold out sign on it. This one did not. But I swatched both of these. I swatched pearl varnish and the other topaz color. I can't think of the name of it. I'll leave it somewhere right here. But I swatched it. I swatched it on my hand and I showed her. I said, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I'm talking about the topaz color. I was like, do you have this? Keeping in mind, I know that the display had sold out, but because I showed so much, I showed such a liking to the topaz color, I just was like, oh wow, I wish you all had this color. And she looked, and she said, okay, let me see what I have. Oh, okay. So she came back and said, we have it. Sweet. I'm like, so it's not sold out. So she took it up front. She never showed me the packaging or anything. So I went around the counter. I bought actually I bought this, a small thing of Fix Plus. And I gave it to her. She went behind the counter. And I went to go look at another product. And she started ringing stuff up. Now, normally with MAC, and I've never been to a MAC in the Caribbean, so I don't really technically know how they operate. But the MACs here in the U.S., normally the girls, they say, okay, you have such and such, you have chestnut lip liner, you have ruby boot. Like, they tell you the product before they ring it up. This young lady never did that. Never. So she rung up the stuff. I paid for my order. Something told me before I left that store, check your bag. Check my bag. I'm like, what is this? I didn't ask for this. And she was like, she got really snarky with me after that. It was almost like, I was like, this wasn't what I asked for. I said I wanted the topaz color. She's like, oh, that's sold out. Now, somewhere along the line, there was a miscommunication. My part, her part, but as an associate of the store, you're supposed to make sure that this is handled. I said, no, you told me that when I told you I really like this topaz color, you was like, okay, let me see if we have it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they had like one more or something. Total miscommunication all the way around. So I told her, I said, well, I didn't even want my money back. I just wanted an exchange for another product because I didn't want this. I can't do anything with this. She says, well, at first she said, yeah, we can exchange it. But then she really, I don't know, her disposition just totally changed. And she says, well, I have to wait for my manager to come back, and then you can talk it over with my manager to see if you can see if you can exchange the product. Can you come back in an hour? Lady, no, I can't come back in an hour. I'm on a cruise. You see that boat off in the distance? That boat leave. I'm going to be stranded here in St. Martin, which wouldn't be a bad thing. But nonetheless, I can't come back in an hour. I have to do what I need to do here and go. So the assistant manager came out, and it was like, man, let me tell y'all, these girls, you can totally tell they look out for each other. Like, you can totally tell they look out for each other, because the manager was like, I was like, and it was so weird, because they say normally when you leave the store and you open it, and the receipt had returned in 7 days. So I'm like, I'm confused. I can't even exchange the product. The manager's like, no, I'm sorry, ma'am. No, we can't do that. You wanted this product. And like, she was literally defending the girl who gave me the wrong product, which, by the way, did not read off the products to me in the first place. So had she was at that cash register and said, okay, Fix Plus, Pearl Varnish, I'd be like, nope, nope, nope. I did not want Pearl Varnish. This would have been squashed. It didn't end there. So the assistant manager was like, well, you can wait till the real manager come back. And again, she was saying an hour. And I'm like, lady, I'm not going to be here. So she was not budging. She was adamant. Like, this is the product you paid for. I'm sorry. Here's our number you can call. I'm like, dog, I'm in the United States. I mean, what am I going to do? So after a good maybe 15-20 minutes of us kind of going back and forth, I left the store, and let me just say again, I did not want a refund. I didn't want my money back. All I wanted to do was exchange a product that I did not want, all stemming from a communication issue that we had before. That's all I wanted to do. So I left the store, and I'll be honest, I was in a really bad mood after that. So I was with my mom and my dad and my daughter. And so I was just like, man, this really sucks. So I did my best. I pulled it together. I enjoyed the rest of my trip because I was not going to let that stop me having fun. Got back on the ship, put it away. It's like, all right, I'll deal with this when I get back to the U.S. So when I got back to the U.S., about a week later, I did up my little letter. I went on to maccosmetic.com, went to their contact us, and I emailed them. I didn't hear anything back for about a week and a half, and then I emailed them again. So we're emailing each other back and forth, and I told them what happened. So they said, can you call us? So I called them, and I explained the situation again. They apologized, and then they told me how standalone Mac stores work versus as, I guess, the franchises, whether it's like the difference between a Mac that's inside of a Macy's or a Mac that's a standalone store. And they went through this whole debacle. I'm like, okay, so what are you guys going to do? So what ended up happening was the lady told me, pick a product that you would like, and then they'll mail it to me. And they also mailed me a check for like $27. Oh, okay, cool. So I said, well, what do you all want me to do with this? Do you want me to send this back? She's like, no, you can keep it. Yet again, I can't do anything with this. But they're like trying to force this product on me again, you guys. As you can see, I have not touched this product. I don't know if you can see it. Like, it still looks, it's brand new. So, and I don't even, it's not the product, it's the principle of the whole thing. So, in the end, I got my lipstick. I ended up getting a fresh brew lipstick because a lot of my clients, you know, like a nude kind of glossy lip, so that's pretty perfect for a lot of different women of color. And I got a check for $27. So, and then I also, lastly, I asked the lady, I said, well, what happens in a case like this? Do you all investigate? She said, yeah, they investigate. They get in contact with the store manager and find out what happens. I'm like, okay. So the moral of this story is, I guess it doesn't really necessarily have to be when you're overseas, but, you know, at first it made me think, like, I thought all Mac stores are supposed to be under the same rules and guidelines and things like that, but boy, was I wrong. Check your bags, ladies, before you leave a Mac store. I guess wherever you are, in the Caribbean, just make sure your product is what your product is, because it was a complete and utter headache during and after. Just like I said, they did not budge. There was no compromise, nothing. So, just wanted to share that little story / testimony with you all. I love the Caribbean. I have a great time there every time I go. It's just this one bad incident. Studio eye gloss. If I was working on photo shoots again, this would probably be pretty dope. But for an everyday person, maybe I'll put it on my lips. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all. I hope everybody is doing well. That's my little story. Just wanted to share. You know, you all be vigilant, and, you know, just make sure the products you get are the products that you want. And I'll just end it with, you know, communication is very important, very key. Like I said, the young lady who assisted me, she she seemed kind of disconnected from helping me in the beginning, because while she was helping me, I forgot to mention this, there was other people like around that act like, you know how somebody is showing you a product and then they're like, she was like doing one of those things. So I'm like, okay, well, now where did the miscommunication really come from? I'm not blaming her, not blaming me. It was just, for me to even make this video and contact Mac, that says something about how much I thought that when I said I liked this, if this is brown and this is pearl varnish, and I point to this one, say I really like this one, and you say, okay, let me see if we have it. Maybe because you were off in the distance, you thought I was pointing to this one and not this one. Anyway, y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.